Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
The old adage goes, it isn't what you say, it's how you say it. Because to truly make an impact, you need to set an example. You need to take the lead. You need to adapt to whatever comes your way. And when you're that driven, you drive an equally determined vehicle, the Range Rover Sport. Blending power, poise, and performance, it was designed to make an impact. With a dynamic drive, refined comfort, and innovations like cabin air purification and active noise cancellation, the Range Rover Sport is built to be as uncompromising as you. Explore Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods Season of the Witch Haunted episode. This episode is all about
Haunted corn.
Yeah, so going on from the harvest theme, I've now got an episode that's all about creatures or beings, folkloric beings that hide in the corn. Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
In the hushed fields where dusk settles on golden grain, the old folk say the harvest is never truly unguarded. Wind and fire lurk at the fringes of the farmlands, ancient forces watching over crops with a jealous diligence. When autumn winds swirl into sudden fury, or a distant flame flickers among the rows, it may be no mere weather or bonfire, but the restless spirits stirring. Twilight on the harvest plain. A breeze dies to utter stillness. The last farmers pack their scythes. Then, without warning, the wind rises in a mad spiral, whipping up chaff, dust, and husks into a twisted column. Windsbraut, the elders whisper, making the sign of the cross. The wind's bride is upon the field. In Germanic folklore, the Windsbraut is the spirit of a whirlwind, a weather demon given female form by name, the wind's bride. She comes spinning out of nowhere, an impetus dancing witch of air, traditionally envisioned as a woman wedded to the wild wind itself. Farmers watch in dread as the vortex tears through their hard-worn crop, stealing the very earnings of their fieldwork in moments. Scattered straw, threshed grain, snatched up to the sky. It's said the Windsbraut leaves nothing but flattened stalks and despair. They call her Windsbraut, but some know her by an older, rougher name. Windsbraut, Windgel, even Wingerspurl, the Wind Goblin. By any name, she is a Felgeist, a field spirit born of tempest and terror, roaming the farms of Germany and beyond. In the old days, people truly feared these sudden whirlwinds. A dust devil by day's logic became, by folklore, an evil force or witch's work, and stories spread of travellers or children carried off by the whirling wind. Across Europe, it was often believed that the devil himself could travel in a whirlwind and snatch unwary souls. The Windsbraut embodies that fear, a living wind with a will of its own, punishing the arrogant and the careless. If a farmer boasted too soon of a rich crop, she might dance through the fields to humble him, scattering his grain so that only the wind gets the reward of harvest. Yet the folk did not stand helpless. There are rituals, remedies against the whirlwind witch. You might grab a new knife, anointed with holy water, some say, and with a steady heart hurl it into the very heart of the whirlwind. To do this is to wound the spirit, pinning the Windsbraut to earth. Legends insist that such a cast will stop the spirit's mad dance on the spot. A well-aimed blade whirling through the air, meeting the column of dust, and suddenly the wind falls silent. The Windsbraut has been caught, impaled by iron. Strangely, she cannot free herself from the knife. Only the thrower of the blade can pull it out and release her. In this we see a glimpse of ancient belief that iron and human courage can break a curse of nature, at least for a while. Farmers who managed this feat would cautiously approach the now still whirlwind and retrieve their knife, perhaps murmuring a prayer of thanks. The air would be heavy and still, the bride of the wind gone, until the next unruly storm. But who is the Windsbraut truly? Some say not a demon at all, but a human witch or sorcerer in disguise. In German lore, witches were long believed to ride the winds. A hex might brew a storm or travel within a whirlwind to work mischief on her neighbours. So the Windsbraut could be one such witch, a woman who has bound herself to the air, stealing grain out of spite or malice. On nights when gales howl across empty fields, folks would shutter their windows tight, fearing a coven of wind witches passing overhead. And if a sudden dust devil spun up on a sunny harvesting day, it might be a local sorceress bride revelling in chaos. In any case, whether spirit or witch, the Windsbraut had to be respected. Protective customs grew around appeasing the field spirits. In some regions, farmers left a token of the harvest behind, a last sheet of wheat or a cup of ale, as an offering to the spirits of field and sky. If neglected, who knew what vengeance the winds might take? After all, in nearby folk belief, even the barman scarecrow of Germany demanded a share of the yield at harvest end, or it would turn on its master. The Windsbraut, too, was surely not to be angered with greed. Even today, on a lonely country road, you might spot a sudden whirlwind dancing across a fallow field and feel a prickling on your neck. There's no visible figure inside, just swirling dust and leaves. Yet you sense something looking back. Travellers still recall strange incidents, a dust devil that seemed to follow them, or a tiny tornado that tore up only one farm and left the rest untouched. In those moments, Some remember the old word, Windsbraut. A few elder farmers in remote villages even claim they saw a face in the whirlwind once, a woman's wild visage grinning within the dust. They'll warn you that if you encounter such a devilish wind, you must not run. Stand firm, steel in hand, and drive your knife into the heart of the whirling air. For that is the only way to break the cursed spell of the wind's bride. Otherwise the spirit will snatch more than chaff. Perhaps it will take your luck, your crop, or your very breath. The wind may howl and moan, but once the knife strikes true, silence falls, and the harvest can sleep safe again, at least until the next bride of the wind comes seeking her due. But not only the wind guards these fields with ferocity. Far to the east, under a harvest moon in Poland, the silhouettes of scarecrows loom over moonlit farms. These are meant to be protectors, humble guardians of the crop, propped on sticks and crosses. Yet in the folklore of Poland, one scarecrow stands out as something far more sinister. They call him Zluik, the Burning Man. And if the Windsbraut is the raging wind giving life, the Burning Man is fire incarnate in the scarecrow's ragged skin, a cursed guardian blazing with otherworldly flame. It began, they say, with a terrible injustice. Long ago, a man accused of dark witchcraft met a witch's fate, death by fire. Whether he was truly guilty or merely a victim of fear hardly matters. The cruelty of his end planted a seed of evil. After the charred pyre died out, someone, perhaps in secret, under a guilty conscience or twisted logic, gathered the witch's ashes from the remains. Those ashes were mixed with straw and cloth and stuffed into a crude human shape, a scarecrow effigy built from the remnants of a man. Maybe villagers thought using a sorcerer's ashes would protect the fields, a dark talisman to warn off other evils. Or perhaps it was an act of scorn, forcing the dead man to serve the village even in death. If so, their plan backfired horribly. For once raised in the field, the scarecrow stood silent through the season, until the night it first caught fire. On certain nights, when the air was still and the world asleep, a light would kindle in the darkness. Farm hands watching from afar rubbed their eyes in disbelief. Out in the middle of the field, the scarecrow was glowing, then burning. It burst into flame, fire coursing through its straw limbs without consuming them. In the orange glow, the scarecrow began to move. No longer bound to its stake, it shuffled among the rows of wheat and rye, a man-shaped torch wandering the fields. The flames danced around its body, but never burned it to ash. A walking bonfire with a tattered coat and a pumpkin grin charred black. Villagers who witnessed the Burning Man kept their distance, watching in terror as it patrolled the perimeter of the fields. In some tales, they say he was guarding the crop, scaring away not just crows but thieves and trespassers, much like an ordinary scarecrow would, but with fiery wrath. But the protection of the Burning Man came at a terrible price. If he spotted a human intruder in his field, the flaming scarecrow would give chase, moving faster than any man could run on these crackling straw legs. Imagine being a curious soul crossing a moonlit field, only to see that distant scarecrow blaze to life. The heat on your back, the firelit rays closing in, and then you feel a straw hand, impossibly strong, seize your shoulder. Those unlucky enough to be caught met a fate worse than any ordinary death. Folklore states that if the Burning Man catches you, he does not burn you to cinders. No, something far more frightening occurs. He drags your spirit into his internal fire. Your body might never be found, but your soul is crushed to wander the fields forever beside him, trapped within the endless flames that fuel his haunting existence. In short, you become part of the Burning Man's curse, another ghost bound to the lonely farmland night. Such a fate was enough to keep sensible folk indoors on those nights. Modern tellings of the tale claim that even now, in rural Polish villages, no one dares enter the fields after dusk when a strange fire is seen. A farmer might peer from his window at the far-off glow and mutter a quick prayer, remembering grandfather's warnings. Some have likened the sight to will-o'-the-wisps, but the older generations know better. It is the straw guardian burning again, they whisper. And indeed, the legend of the Burning Man is not an isolated fancy. It resonates with broader Eastern European beliefs about scarecrows and spirits. In that part of the world, scarecrows have been long viewed with superstitious awe. They stand at the boundary between the human world and the supernatural, marking where cultivated land meets the unknown. In Romania and Poland, people once dressed scarecrows in the clothes of the dead, believing an ancestor's spirit might inhabit the effigy to protect the farm. These figures, cursed guardians, were said to come to life on certain nights, much like the Burning Man himself. Their heads would turn to follow you as you passed. Their stuffed arms might twitch when no one was watching. The spirits within were possessive of the land. Woe to anyone who disrespected the harvest or trespassed at night. The straw guardians would punish them without mercy. Against this backdrop, the tale of the Burning Man feels almost inevitable. Mixing a witch's ashes into a scarecrow was a provocation to the spirit world, practically inviting a restless soul to take up residence. And so it did. The scarecrow became a vessel for vengeful fire. The farmers, realizing what they had created, lightly tried to undo their mistake. Some stories hint that priests were called to bless the fields, or that a protective circle of salt was laid around the farm's edge. Classic remedies against evil. But the Burning Man was not so easily banished. He would vanish by cock's crow, leaving only blackened footprints in the furrows. But each time the nights grew long, he returned. Interestingly, Polish custom might offer a clue to breaking the curse. Traditionally, a scarecrow in Poland was never left to stand forever. It was removed and ritually burned after the harvest was done. With pomp and a sense of relief, farmers would set the straw man ablaze at season's end, celebrating the end of their toil. The rising smoke was viewed as carrying away any spirit that might dwell in the dummy. Folk belief held that the smoke of a burning scarecrow was like a human soul flying up to heaven. This ritual, part of the peasant wisdom, ensured that no spirit remained trapped in the figure over winter. But in the legend of the Burning Man, the scarecrow was itself made of a dead man's remains, and it ignited on its own outside of any holy rite. There was no controlled, respectful burning to release a soul Instead, the soul burned in torment again and again. One might say the harvest in that cursed field was never truly completed, because the scarecrow was never safely burned at the end of the season, and the burning man persists, an ever-burning effigy with a soul that cannot ascend. Year after year, he lights up the darkness, a reminder and a warning. As the night deepens over the woods and fields, you can almost hear the two spirits in the distance, the howl of wind spiralling around an empty farmhouse, and the faint crackle of flames where no fire should be. They are distant, yet somehow near, timeless presences in the rural dark. And in that quiet comes a haunting reflection, one last chill to carry you home. The bounty of the earth is never truly free. The harvest yields food and fortune, but something old and unseen expects its share. Be it a few stalks left for the wind's bride, or a ritual fire to placate the straw man's soul. Forget this bargain, and the old forces will remind you with whirlwinds and ghosts.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
The old adage goes, it isn't what you say, it's how you say it. Because to truly make an impact, you need to set an example. You need to take the lead. You need to adapt to whatever comes your way. And when you're that driven, you drive an equally determined vehicle, the Range Rover Sport. Blending power, poise, and performance, it was designed to make an impact. With a dynamic drive, refined comfort, and innovations like cabin air purification and active noise cancellation, the Range Rover Sport is built to be as uncompromising as you. Explore Range Rover Sport at rangerover.com/US/sport.
So a few different creatures there. I think my favourite has to be the Burning Man. Because I can really imagine looking out onto the field and seeing this glow and then this kind of burning scarecrow type thing.
Yeah, and then the whole field lights on fire.
Yeah. Glowing just as the sun goes down and everybody's terrified. That kind of thing. One of my favourite episodes, actually, of The Living and the Dead, and I know I do go on about this TV show, but it's one about the wheat, and it gets infected, and like a witch is blamed, and it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Even if I did tell Netflix to take over the rights and do another series, but they completely ignored me.
Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. We will catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living Associates have been committed to creating a vibrant culture and delivering exceptional services, making Brightview a great place to work and live. If you're looking for a rewarding opportunity to serve your local community and grow, we want you to join our team. Brightview Senior Living is growing and actively seeking vibrant associates to join our community teams, including directors, healthcare, activities, hospitality, and dining. Apply today at careers.brightviewseniorliving.com. Equal employment opportunities. Text BV Jobs to 97211 to apply.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
With McValue at McDonald's, get any size pumpkin spice iced coffee for just 99 cents until 11 a.m. And try our pumpkin and cream pie. They're spiced and priced so very nice. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.